Why do we sometimes just start seeing faces or images when we are about to fall asleep or deeply relaxed? What type of phenomenon is that? Why it happens and what to do about it? Let's find out. Hi, this channel is about taking control of our personal evolution, both spiritually and here in this lifetime. And today we are going to talk about clairvoyance, or rather saying a specific type of clairvoyance. If you have not watched my other video in which I describe the different types of clairvoyance and how they happen, I suggest you do, because that is going to be a perfect complement to this video. But what we are going to focus on today specifically is clairvoyance that happens while we are in the hypnagogic state, meaning we are between awake and asleep. And therefore, more often it happens when we are just in bed and relaxed. And the exact type of phenomena we experience during this clairvoyance type is seeing usually faces or image like scenes of places that come to us as if they approach us, and we see them in our mind kind of, but they are very clear. Sometimes we even feel the energy or the impact coming from them. There are two main causes for this phenomenon, and the first one, the most common, is that normally during the day we have contacts. We meet people, we talk to people, we go places, we think about issues of our lives, which therefore connects us to energies related to those issues. Anyways, everything that happens somehow establish a coupling, an energy coupling or an energy connection with that specific topic or person or place. And there are cases in which we end up remaining with a residue of the energies from those people or places or objects, whatever, that we connected with. That residue stays lingering in our energy body. Then, for those of us who are more sensitive, those of us who normally can kind of pick more energies and are more prone to sense what quality of energy it is, or to be more influenced by those, what is going to happen is that when we go to bed and we start to relax, at some point our energy body expands, so that produces a different sense of reality, if I can say, or produces a different type of relaxation. And in some cases, even the non-physical body that is aligned with the physical one starts to detach, to disconnect, kinds of get more loose inside of our physical bodies. Then, in that moment, we become more aware of what was there lingering in our energy body that before we were not noticing. This is super common, and many people have this type of sensitivity, not even knowing they do, and not even knowing what it is. But for some of us, we kind of recognize something happens in that moment. Because of this awareness we gain of the energies in our energy field at that moment, we start sometimes capturing in our mind somehow the information related to this residue energy that is there. So in many cases we start seeing faces. For me that's what's most common, but some people they would see images of places. That is more rare. Most commonly we kind of connect with people, consciousnesses, either be them physical or non-physical, but usually are non-physical ones, meaning they are in between lives, they do not have a physical body. And we see them, some people see them very up close, some see them like in a corner, always from the same perspective. For me, what happens, just as an example, I'm going to tell you, is that I see those faces as if they are at a certain distance, and they start coming close and close and close to me, and when they are very close, they fade away. And then comes another one. Sometimes there is faster or fast-ish, but sometimes it can be a process that I see the face, sometimes I see also the body of a consciousness, and that starts approaching slowly until it fades away. It gives me time to pay attention to it and notice what's going on. But sometimes I would see, for example, just part of the face, like the mouth, for example, or just the eyes very clearly. This is a super common phenomenon. Many people have it. But then, what do we make of it, and why it happens? Because not only we get those residue and we get sensitive, but also we make a connection with something that is far from us by somehow reading the energies that is there lingering around of us. This is usually a mild thing, maybe uncomfortable to some people, because sometimes what we see is not so nice. We may see faces that are not so well clear to us, so it's a bit confusing, and that may drag our attention. But usually that happens in a way that is kind of neutral in the way we feel, even though it's not neutral in the way we see it. The second type, that is also relatively common, is when we have this type of clairvoyance, so same condition when we are falling asleep or relaxed or just started maybe meditating or something, but then we have an image very similar to what I described before, but in this case, that image that we have, visual image, through the clairvoyance, of course, we have because that kind of presence or consciousness is there close to us. For example, in our bedroom. So it's more connected to us in that time. Therefore, when we sense that presence, and of course that presence produces that image, we also have an impact of the energy of that consciousness. Whilst in the case before, all we sensed was just a residue that was just lingering around, was not a real presence. In this case, the perception is of a real presence that is not physical, but is there. The condition I described before as the cause one for this type of clairvoyance produces on us very much the same type of visualization. So in terms of how we see it is the same. So why is it that is in this second type we feel more of this surprise? It produces a different energy reaction on us because there's a presence there that is producing that energy impact or energy connection. Now, what to do in each of these cases? In both cases, we can use a technique to cleanse our energies and reduce the connection of other consciousness with us. So pretty much a cleansing and self-defense technique. So the technique I suggest is the voluntary energetic longitudinal oscillation. So the acronym is VELO. We talk a lot about that here. That's a phenomenon that I study a lot, or better say a technique that I study a lot, that somehow can deliver or produce the vibrational state, which is a very positive condition. If you do not know how to practice the velo, don't worry about it. I am going to do a video explaining about it. And if you want to have a manual, a guide, something that explains to you more in detail how it happens, the mechanisms and how to do it, how it's felt, then you also have the option of getting my book, which is available in English now. For the cases when there could be presence that would be producing that type of vision or clairvoyance, we will pretty much solve that 89% of the times only with the velo, because that will reduce the connection of the energy there. But in some cases, you may notice that you do a velo, you feel better, you feel stronger, but later on, that impression or the sensation of the energy of that presence comes back because the connection was not completely severed or somehow is reestablished. In cases like this, you may want later to resort to some sort of expansion of your energy from your energy body, or sending out your energies, transmission, exteriorization of energies, whatever name you give to it. I like to call it exteriorizing or externalizing our energy, but there are many different ways to do it, because we can externalize our energies in different intensities, different directions, with different quality, different type of information, different type of maybe of pulsation or frequency of the pulsations we have there in this transmission of energy. But the point is, what you do at that moment is you try to send out your energies and we will adjust. Pay attention on how it's coming out and adjust. You have a feeling, trust yourself, because most of the cases it's super easy and super simple, and I will also try to go deeper on this in different videos. Anyway, if you are one of those that experience this type of phenomena, I hope you got here some tips on what to do and also information of why it happens. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have any suggestion at all of any type. I'm very open to hear you. If you experience different types of clairvoyance, I would love to hear about that as well. Give me a like if you think it was useful. It's just a quick way of giving me a feedback. I hope to see you next time. Thank you very much for being here.